Everyone, welcome to Tabaga's Tech Life. My name is Tabaga Nyati, and today we're going to look at load shedding 2025. Is Eskom finally fixing the load shedding pandemic? South African's power crisis and what's really going on. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. Tell me how has load shedding been treating you like this whole year in 2025? How has it been? And also don't forget to hit the notification button so that whenever I'm posting a video, you will be notified. But so far, we can all agree that 2025, I haven't experienced load shedding personally, but maybe you have. But I think in 2025 it was a lot better. But let's look at it. So basically, we all know what load shedding is. It's a controlled power cut to protect the national electricity grid. They started, I think, 2022 or 2023. I'm not sure. But yeah, they started to control the power to cut it, especially during the day. They will cut it for like 2 hours or more just to save the electricity. That was their strategy because they're facing a challenge with the national electricity. It started around 2007 due to insufficient energy supply. So it started around 2007, but I think we can all agree that we started experiencing it, like really experiencing it, most of us, in 20, I think 2022, 2023, I think, yeah, 2024, I think around those years, yeah, we started to experience it, to have a schedule to be like, okay, around this time, around 1, around 12, or, the electricity will just cut off and then it will come back or fall and stuff like that. Major disruption in schools, homes, and businesses. There's a major disruption, especially in businesses, because you're running a business, like for example, a printer business, you know that around those times that electricity will be cut off, you will not be working. If you're a restaurant, you are working with electricity, you have to have a generator now. You have to budget for a generator. If you're a salon, have to ensure that there's always hot water to wash people's hair, or there's like electricity is needed in every business. You're a baker, you need electricity. You are a barber, you need electricity. Everyone needs electricity. And schools, in schools, electricity is mostly needed for sirens, um, for printing papers, but not that much in schools, just for printing papers, for sirens, because teachers can use like textbook to teach. They can also print a prior, print before, to be like, okay, I have a class got 12 and around 12 electricity will be gone, so let me print now, and then yeah, we were starting to get used to it, especially at home. You know that electricity will be gone by 12, so you wake up in the morning, you cook, you do everything that you're supposed to do, and then when electricity cuts off, you've done with everything. Yeah, but it was a pity in terms of like your battery, if you didn't charge your phone, or obviously your phone's battery like dies early or fast. That was a problem. But yeah, we're just getting used to it. So now what's changed in 2025? Because I remember, I think beginning of 2024, if I'm not mistaken, beginning of 2024, there was still load shedding. And then definitely 2023, I remember I was in grade 12. So there was definitely load shedding. So what changed 2025? Because I haven't experienced load shedding. So there was a significant decrease in the outage since the mid 2025. They are saying since mid 2025. So it's been happening from the beginning of 2025, but during the mid, like during June, May, June, there was a decrease. Only 26 hours of load shedding between April, August, to August 2025. So there was only 26 hours of load shedding. So like it's decreased. They now they didn't cut electricity like for 4 hours straight. Maybe they will cut it for 1 hour, for 2 hours, just for a few hours. Eskom implemented the generation recover plan. So they came up with a plan because electricity was just a real issue, a big issue that was just disrupting businesses, homes, schools, just us personally, you have a research to do and just the load shedding cuts off. How are you going to do that research? You have an assignment that is due, you have a quiz, you have a test. How are you going to do that if there is no electricity? So they just came up with a plan, which is the generation recovery plan, and it seems to work. It seems to work because there has been a decrease in the outage of power. So was how was it fixed? Now I want to know. Yes, we see the decrease in it in the outage of power, but how? How was it fixed? So they restored unit to working condition. They restored units that they were using for the power. Because obviously the other one were not working properly or they were having problems. So they restored them, reduced breakdowns through intensive maintenance, also reduced the breakdowns in terms of intensive maintenance when they are maintaining, like doing maintenance for the electricity. Obviously there's definitely going to be breakdowns, so they reduce those. And then growth in the rooftop solar and private energy generation. Also, they encouraged solars, properties to have solars to generate energy, private energy generation, like to have as a household or as a property, you have to have like your own rooftop solar or private energy generation, stuff like that. Have to have your own backup. So that helped because obviously we were getting used to it and then we came up with our own plan, like for example, buy generation, buy solars and stuff like that. And those things worked for us. So I wouldn't say it's over. I wouldn't say load shedding is like over, but there's a major improvement, but not completely eliminated. It is not completely eliminated, but there is an improvement. And some people think that um load shedding wasn't actually there wasn't any problem. Like there wasn't a problem with the how with the unit. This was just the government. This was just a plan, a scheme that was planned, for people to be like, oh, since there's this load shedding, let's trust our government to fix it for us. Let's vote for our government. They said it was just a scheme, it's a scheme. But we don't know. Please do tell us in the comment section. Do you think load shedding was a scheme, to gain our favor, or just a scheme for something? But it is not completely eliminated. Risk remains. Aging power plants, high demand, diesel usage. So there's also like the power plants, the plants or the units that generate power. They're aging. They are what is this? What do they say in accounting? But yeah, their lifespan is aging, and then there's high demand for power everywhere. Everyone needs power, and then diesel usage also increases, which kind of put pressure in the in the power plants. Eskom says load shedding could extend until the mid 2026 if no further investment. So they need investment, but they always need investments, those ones. But they say they need investments to obviously improve the power plants, improve material, improve anything that they need to improve in order to ensure that load shedding is no longer there. But if there is no investment, yeah, we could still experience um load shedding. We could still experience it. until there is an investment. So without an investment, we'll still be experiencing it, but with an investment, we will not. But I feel like people I feel like the government have invested enough, but I don't know. Maybe I'm clueless. Maybe I heard wrong, but I feel like uh they have invested enough and still nothing has been done. Now they need another investment. That's a lot of money. And I feel like it's a lot of money going to waste. Or maybe I don't know. I'm just a curious person who just have an opinion. I don't know. So the impact on school students and parents. Now, that the load shedding has decreased, especially in 2025. There's a lot of improvement, in terms of schools, students, parents, more stable electricity during study and exam period. Especially now, it's exam period for universities, college, and also grade 12s. Um, you know, final exam for grade 12s. So now it's stable. Yeah, you're going to study. You have like you can study well without any disruption from the electricity. You can prepare for exams and less disruption to online learning and school activities. Like obviously online learning, or maybe you're watching videos on YouTube based on a specific topic, obviously, based on a particular subject, you will not be disrupted. You not be disrupted because the electricity is there. So there wasn't any disruption. Parents experience reduced stress and improve home routine. Also, parents, obviously, if something goes wrong in the home, at home, the people who are responsible or the people that will look at for solution is definitely the parents. So they also now their stress has reduced um because electricity is there. They can return to their routine like cook, clean, and so forth. So what's next for South Africans? So we just have to continue saving energy and invest in backup power, monitor Eskom updating government energy plans. The crisis is improving, but long-term solutions are still needed. As I've said, load shedding has not, yeah, it has improved, but it's something that has not been entirely solved. It has not been entirely solved. So we still need to save energy. We still have to use electricity responsibly, and also look out for updates on the Eskom to be like what Eskom is updating us about, for updates. So now the generational recovery plan initiated as we have experienced less load shedding is because there was a generational recovery plan that was initiated, that was implemented. So the new power units are restored and added to the grid. And then government and private sectors investment increase. Also, the government had a plan and also like an agreement with the private sector to help with the investment in terms of helping the Eskom, since now we can see that there is no load shedding or less load shedding. The results so far are noticeable: drop in load shedding occurrence in 2025, improved grid stability during winter, more use of renewable resource sources. So now like there's an increased use of renewable resources like solars. Maybe we use gas stove instead of electricity stove. We are getting used to using like alternative sources, energy sources, and there is a noticeable drop in load shedding. As I've stated, personally, I have not been experiencing load shedding in 2025. And yeah, there was a stability, especially in winter, because we know that in winter it's so cold. So there was a stability, load shedding was there, it wasn't giving us issues. Challenges that Eskom is still facing. As I've stated that load shedding is not an issue that has been fixed, but an issue that has improved. something that has improved but not eliminated. So there are still challenges that the Eskom is still facing, just like high cost of diesel power generators. There are diesel power generators and they cost a lot of money. Um, I think, yeah, they cost a lot of money. There are debt, corruption concerns, and infrastructure damage. Corruption, we know that one. There's a lot of corruption, and that just disrupts the plan of dealing with the load shedding to be executed completely. There's debt also, they have debt on their own infrastructure damage, the aging power plants also they are damaged, so they need to be fixed, for the whole problem to be fixed. Renewable energy not yet enough to replace coal fully. So there are still challenges that they are facing, but with investment, I hope that everything will go back to where it was, no load shedding at all. And then for future outlook, forecast of low to no load shedding for summer 2025 and 2026. So they're saying that they're hoping or the plan that Eskom wants or the result that Eskom wants is for load shedding to stop, especially from now in 2025 until 2026, to stop until obviously they get an investment and completely come up with a plan or a solution to completely eliminate it. They also continued maintenance and new energy projects are needed. So investment is needed a lot to do that. Citizens must remain energy conscious and prepared. So we must remain prepared for anything, for any changes, for any updates that they may give us, and just uh, continue remaining energy conscious. And that is for today. If you found this video helpful, please do like, subscribe, comment on the video. Tell me, how has it been for you in 2025? How has load shedding been for you in 2025? And also don't forget to like, hit the notification button so that whenever I'm posting a video, you will be notified. Until next time, take care.